Yo, I'm all suited up because I was just at a wedding. Let me know if you want me to play at your wedding. I do that, so, hit me up. Welcome to another episode of A Chapter a Day to Keep the Devil Away. I am Tinaya Shea, and this is the place where we read a chapter of the Bible a day until we finish the entire thing. Today we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 34. If you haven't read Genesis chapter 33, go do that. But today we are going to be reading Genesis chapter 34. Revenge against Shechem. One day, Dinah, the daughter of Jacob and Leah, went to visit some of the young women who lived in the area. But when the local prince Shechem, son of Hamor, the Hivite, saw Dinah, he seized her and raped her. But then he fell in love with her, and he tried to win her affection with tender words. He said to his father Hamor, "Get me this young girl, I want to marry her." Soon Jacob heard that Shechem had defiled his daughter, Dinah. But since his sons were out in the fields, herding his livestock, he said nothing until they returned. Hamor, Shechem's father, came to discuss the matter with Jacob. Meanwhile, Jacob's sons had come in from the field as soon as they heard what had happened. They were shocked and furious that their sister had been raped. Shechem had done a disgraceful thing against Jacob's family, something that should never be done. Hamor tried to speak with Jacob and his sons. "My son Shechem is truly in love with your daughter," he said. "Please let him marry her. In fact, let's arrange other marriages too. You give us your daughters for our sons, and we will give you our daughters for your sons, and you may live among us. The land is open to you. Settle here and trade with us, and feel free to buy property in the area." Then Shechem himself spoke to Dinah's father and brothers. "Please be kind to me and let me marry her," he begged. "I will give you whatever you ask, no matter what dowry or gift you demand. I will gladly pay it. Just give me the girl as my wife." But since Shechem had defiled their sister Dinah, Jacob's sons responded deceitfully to Shechem and his father Hamor. They said to them, "We couldn't possibly allow this because you're not circumcised. It would be a disgrace for our sister to marry a man like you. But here is the solution. If every man among you will be circumcised like we are, then we will give you our daughters, and we'll take your daughters for ourselves. We will live among you and become one people. But if you don't agree to be circumcised, we will take her and be on our way." Hamor and his son Shechem agreed to their proposal. Shechem wasted no time in acting on this request, for he wanted Jacob's daughter desperately. Shechem was a highly respected member of his family, and he went with his father Hamor to present this proposal to the leaders at the town gate. "These men are our friends," they said. "Let's invite them to live here among us and trade freely. Look, the land is large enough to hold them. We can take their daughters as wives and let them marry ours. But they will consider staying here and becoming one people with us, only if all of our men are circumcised, just as they are. But if we do this, all their livestock and possessions will eventually be ours. Come, let's agree to their terms and let them settle here among us." So all the men in the town council agreed with Hamor and Shechem, and every male in the town was circumcised. But 3 days later, when their wounds were still sore, 2 of Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, who were Dinah's full brothers, took their swords and entered the town without opposition. Then they slaughtered every male there, including Hamor and his son Shechem. They killed them with their swords, then took Dinah from Shechem's house and returned to their camp. Meanwhile, the rest of Jacob's sons arrived. Finding the men slaughtered, they plundered the town because their sister had been defiled there. They seized all the flocks and herds and donkeys, everything they could lay their hands on, both inside the town and outside in the fields. They looted all their wealth and plundered their houses. They also took all their little children and wives and led them away as captives. Afterward, Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have ruined me. You've made me stink among all the people of this land, among all the Canaanites and Perizzites. We are so few that they will join forces and crush us. I will be ruined, and my entire household will be wiped out." But why should we let him treat our sister like a prostitute? They retorted angrily. Woo! A lot of mess in this one. Women, people in general, but specifically in this case, women, they're not meant to be defiled, abused, and treated in the way that they were treated, that Dinah was treated in this chapter. We as people are deserving of dignity and respect, of choice, consent, all of those things. And Dinah was not awarded that. And unfortunately, in situations like that, especially as we saw in this chapter, like brokenness, evil begets more evil and brokenness, usually. And so, as much as you can, do the right thing. Don't take advantage of women. As much as you can, listen if they don't consent. And listen, I guess, when they do consent, obviously. Just listen, Listen and don't take advantage of the people around you, because it usually begets more of the same. And it's just wrong to do. It's not even about the pragmatism of it all, or the practicality of, you don't want to do bad because more bad will come of it. No, you don't want to do bad because it's just wrong, right? Don't do the wrong thing. Take care of the people around you. You've been called to be a good steward of those in your care and those outside of your care. Just be a good person as much as you can. Do the right thing. And I don't really have a takeaway outside of that. Just, don't, women are not to be treated that way. And so, don't do that. Okay. I love you. And I will, I guess also, in the face of heinous, shameful acts, it can be very easy to want vengeance. And we will find out later that it's not our job. Vengeance is not our job. Seek justice, but vengeance is not really for us. And so that is the Lord's. He says, I will repay. I'll put the address in the text. But just do the right thing. And if you've been wronged, don't meet wrong with more wrong, which is hard to do. It's easy to do the meeting wrong with more wrong, but to meet wrong with right, to love our enemies is the hard thing and the better thing, and in the way of Jesus. But before we even get to all of that stuff, treat women right, treat other people correctly, listen, and don't be a Shechem, Don't do that. Anyway, love you. Peace.